just start dropping too many big taunt monsters that Tides can deal with. But it's also possible for him to just kind of have awkward draws, play one minion a turn, and have them either get killed or sapped or otherwise ignored. So we'll see.
So what are going to be the key cards for, I guess, a Miracle Rogue to keep here against this type of ramp druid?
He definitely needs like some early pressure. He wants to draw a lot of draw all his cards, I guess. But Sap is going to be a pretty important card most of the time. Ek0p looks pretty unhappy with his mulligan, and
yeah, it's not the greatest
reason.
mulligan. If he can, he's got to hope that Tides has no plays the first 2 to 3 turns here.
Yeah, which is the case, you know. Tides
does have the coin though.
Yeah, you could do like a turn 3 Edwin Van or turn 2 Edwin Van Cleef for 4/4 would maybe be worst case scenario, but I think we'll see Ek0p probably just throw down Big Game Hunter next turn, even though it dies to a backstab, just because he wants to get some pressure out on the board, and it's not very useful against Miracle Road.
Yep, I can see that play, and that's what he's going to end up doing.
Yep, use all your mana every turn if you can, and just throw down a minion to force Tides to deal with. So
backstab isn't the end of the world. At least it's not a coin into an agent or something where you're going to have pressure from the minion after being, removing your BGH here. So
I'm gonna say we might see Thalnos coin Shiv. I mean, it's not the best solution. I think I would just kind of backstab, but you do kind of just lose out on some mana if you just backstab and, I don't know, hit and redagger. I think more likely it would be backstab and Shiv, but yeah, it's kind of interesting decisions here. Whoa.
He's prepping?
You're gonna prep instead of coin?
Yeah, okay, so he's just gonna Thalnos and then remove with backstab. Wow, the prep would have been, I don't know, really, it's almost like a desperate move to draw something, I feel like.
I don't really like that play that much. I think if I'm gonna Thalnos there, I want to Shiv the 4/2, and if I'm gonna backstab there, I just want to Shiv my opponent's face to draw a card.
Yeah. Okay, so Keeper of the Grove is a play here, and I guess the question is whether to silence him and just prevent a card draw, which Miracle Rogues obviously rely heavily upon the draw, or we're just removing this altogether. He also has a Sinjin play too, which could be pretty good in this scenario. But I guess you could remove it with just one Abyss Rake, so playing around Abyss Rake could be good too.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple options. He's gonna go with removing Thalnos, which is
value.
Yeah, it is value, but
there's no board presence after it. Yeah,
you lose out on 2 mana that turn, which is kind of important, I think.
Agreed. All right, so the Azure Drake comes down for Tides, and Ek0p's just more in this reactive mode here, having to deal with everything that Tides puts on the board tempo-wise, and Swipe's going to come on the board, remove an Azure Drake. Not many targets for Swipe, so that's going to be really, really good for him. Single target removal, essentially.
And,
and here comes another Azure Drake.
Throws down another Drake, so...
But no second swipe.
Can you swipe it again?
I don't think so.
Alright, so we'll see, I guess we're going to see a Sinjin from Ek0p. Just Sinjin Mark, maybe? Although I think I would want to save the Mark for a non-taunt minion. Yeah,
like the Keeper of the Grove.
Yeah, the Keeper of the Grove, or the Ancient of Lore even. Harrison, maybe.
Yeah.
His hand isn't really that good. He's kind of past the early turns where you want to be ramping up mana, and into the late turns, and like I said before, if he ends up just playing kind of one minion a turn, this could turn out really badly for Ek0p. But
well, he's getting in that stage. We'll see if Tides can actually remove this really easily without taking any damage to the Azure Drake, and it looks like he's going to start off with the Shiv. Gets a bunch of card draw here because he's got the Gadgetzan down now, and it's he is going to indeed remove this Sinjin without even taking any damage from the Azure Drake, and Ek0p's in a little trouble here. He might have to actually play that Ancient of War and hope that there's no sap.
Yeah, I mean, he's facing down 2 4/4s and no board. which is pretty much the worst possible scenario he can be in.
Yeah.
He might even do something like Harrison and Mark actually kills off that dagger, but he does know that Tides runs Assassin's Blade, so I think we'll probably just see a giant taunt here and say, please no sap.
Yeah, please no sap. Fortunately for him, he does not have sap, but he's got plenty of ways to remove this. Probably might be at the expense of one of the units on the board, minions on the board right now, but won't be too much of a problem for Tides to remove this.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a ton of damage in his hand. We see an Eviscerate, Blade Flurry, a Shiv, actually 2 Blade Flurries.
Yes.
Fan of Knives, and of course he's got that 3/1 dagger still. And remember, he's got that spell power, so each spell is going to be doing a little bit of extra damage. And I mean, if he throws down that Ancient of War, he's not even going to have to use minions to clear it.
Yeah, I think he's basically just trying to decide whether yeah, the 3 options, like you mentioned, were the Ancient of War, Ancient of Lore, or the Harrison. So he's going to go with the big guy, and just hope he doesn't have sap, and hope he doesn't top deck sap here, and he does not. So this is best case scenario for Ek0p right here.
Well, he might not have top deck sap, but
given all the choices, best case for him.
He's still got like 4 or 5 draws to sap, and I mean, preparation, Fan of Knives, I guess. Does that overdraw him actually? 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that would overdraw
him. He has actually. So, he has just to be careful of this.
Yeah.
He might have to play the agent here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he can go Eviscerate, SI7 agent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or he can just Eviscerate, actually. That was a fairly good draw for him. Throw down the SI7 agent for 2. And just hit for 11 and redagger.
This is looking pretty bad for Ek0p right now. He did absorb a lot of at least the spell damage that the rogue has, but didn't really affect just really the lethal, the winning conditions that you typically see from this Miracle Rogue here. And Gadgetzan has been untouched. Going to get even more draws next turn, and a big Edwin Van Cleave on the board. This is going to be pretty tough here.
It's pretty rough. I think Ek0p needed. Well, I don't know what he could have drawn there. I mean, he can silence Van Cleef, but he can't copy and silence. He's still staring down the 2 4/4s, and yeah, it's looking pretty grim for Ek0p.
Man, what plays? I think he's going to have to silence there. That 8/8 is just going to be too much damage.
Yeah.
So he's going to start out with that, and I guess he could
maybe double mark.
He could get a 6/8 there, make it a little bit more difficult for him to remove it. And I think that's going to be his best play. And maybe he gets tied to remove this really, really inefficiently here. But with the Gadgetzan on the board, he's going to be able to draw into everything. So
yeah, I mean,
it's looking pretty bad.
Even if he doesn't have sap yet, he can draw into it. Although he has to kind of be careful about overdrawing his hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's probably just throw down a minion first. Try to draw. Yeah, probably maybe just like a Blade Flurry. He's gonna bounce Edwin back to his hand. Deadly poison.
Oh, he's gonna have a huge Edwin, I think, at the end of this.
Yeah. Backstab is gonna kill that with the dagger.
Ek0p just spamming my thanks to you.
Yep. We're gonna see a Blade Flurry for sure here. Gets extra damage in. Saves some damage to the face. Draws another card. I mean, I guess maybe he's a little bit worried about counterfeiting his Leroy Jenkins, but...
Oh, he's just gonna swing here. No Blade Flurry. Okay, so he's gonna play another minion. I don't know
if I really like that. I think I would have just Blade Flurried.
Either way, he's in great
Ek0p's pretty dead.
Great position here. Yeah, Ek0p can't do anything here, and it looks like Tides is going to take this series 3-1 here. See what Ek0p does for a finish. I think he's going to copy the Edwin, maybe?
Yep. Copy Edwin, heal opponent, pass. He can't even, like, kind of
he's gonna...
honorable Sudoku himself because he leaves himself at 1. But,
that's true. So Tides takes the series 3-1, and he actually is our Group A winner, and he's going to be moving on to the grand finals. And